We want to welcome everyone tonight to this webinar on Meology, which is nutrition made personal. We are excited that you have joined us tonight. And Trudy and I have combined over 50 years experience in the field of health and wellness. Together with a great team of people that we love to have fun with, we just spread the message of health to all of the people that we have the privilege of working with, and you are part of that tonight. We've been doing webinars for quite some time now. So if you go to my website at liveamazing365.com under the tab Insights, you can watch all of the previous webinars that we have done in the past. And you can see some of those topics there. Now, we do want to remind you that the information that we are giving you tonight and in those previous webinars is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. Please consult your physician before making changes in diet, exercise, and supplementation. You might want to grab a notebook and pen for this one and focus for the next 25 minutes or so with us as we go through some information that can not only help you, but help you to help other people have better health as well. Because, like we said, tonight is all about this groundbreaking health revolution that is technology-based, Meology, which is nutrition made personal. Now, of course, you all know that there's only one of you. You have a unique fingerprint, as does everyone else. And so taking care of yourself is imperative, but it's also very personal. You're different than anyone else on the planet. And we're going to talk about how those differences play out in a personalized nutrition plan and why a personalized approach to nutrition can be so incredibly powerful. Now, I want to give you the analogy first to set the stage of the difference in broad-based nutrition supplementation and precise nutrition supplementation. So let's just say that we're going to go on vacation. Say we want to go on vacation. Okay, well, that's very broad. How about where do we want to go on vacation? Okay, we want to go to the beach. But which beach? There are a lot of beaches. We might decide to go to Florida, so we're getting even more narrow and even more precise. But as you can see, there are a lot of beaches because there's a lot of coastline in Florida. So do we want to go to the Atlantic side or do we want to go to the Gulf side? Well, we can narrow that down even further and we can decide we want to go to the Gulf side of Florida. And then once we've decided on the Gulf side, we still have to narrow it down further. What city do we want to go to? So we can narrow that down even more and decide, okay, we want to go to Clearwater Beach. That's where we're going, is to Clearwater, Florida. But then if you look even closer at Clearwater, you can see that there are a lot of different beaches in Clearwater. And you know, guys, we could get even more precise with a specific hotel and even a specific floor of that hotel. We can get even more and more precise to find exactly what we are looking for. Because precise helps to make it powerful. And as our nutrition becomes more precise, it does become more powerful for us. And then when you combine that with a grouping of products and a technology that has more patents on it, also combined with the Shaklee proof, then what you have is a very powerful approach to nutrition. Now, what has been typical in the past is something called stratified nutrition approaches. And I want to explain to you the difference in Meology and what we've had in the past and what other companies have. So first, it's stratified is kind of the general way of approaching nutrition. And that means that those recommendations are based on shared characteristics of a group of people. So for example, you can see there's a female under the age of 50 versus a male over the age of 50. So there's a grouping of vitamins, say a multivitamin that's specific to females under the age of 50, or a multivitamin that's specific to a male over the age of 50. But that's about as precise as it gets. But of course, even within that category, a female under the age of 50 is going to have a lot of variations between another female under the age of 50. And so some programs are a little bit more tailored. We even have that within Shaklee. We've had Vitalizer. We've had Vitalizer for women and Vitalizer for men and Vitalizer for people over the age of 50. So that's a little bit more tailored. So for example, in this example that I put here, a female under the age of 50 who's of childbearing years, and her main issue is hormonal imbalances with PMS versus the female on the bottom who's under the age of 50, but she's past her childbearing years and her biggest concern is bone health. The needs, the nutrient needs of those two people are different. However, you can make sure that they're taking something a little bit more general that would address most of their individual needs, and that would be a little bit more tailored. But what we have with Meology is precision-based nutrition recommendations. So here with the examples, you can see we have a female under the age of 50 who's not in her childbearing years. She's vegan and she's very active. We have another female under the age of 50 in her childbearing years. She never eats vegetables. She lives on fast food and she has a sedentary lifestyle. Now, I think it would be easy to see that those two women, although they are in the same age category and the same gender, have vastly different nutrient needs, particularly when we take a look at their diet and their activity level. And so precision-based nutrition takes into consideration all of the individual things about a person and actually how those things interact and come together to make you uniquely you. Obviously, for a person who doesn't need any vegetables or doesn't eat any vegetables, that person is going to need more of certain nutrients than a vegan who eats only vegetables and fruit. And then the vegan is going to potentially need some B12 supplementation to address the fact that she doesn't eat meat. And so when Meology takes our diet and activity levels into account, then we have very powerful and precise nutrition working on our behalf.
Yes, and Shaklee Science, of course, has always been on the cutting edge of nutritional research. And I want to take just a minute to kind of tell you how we got where we are with Meology, some of Shaklee's accomplishments. And those go all the way back to 1915 when Dr. Shaklee developed the first multivitamin called Vitalized Minerals. And also, it boils down to fueling extraordinary feats of human performance, including the first American to go to the top of Mount Everest without supplemental oxygen. That happened in 1983. This was because of Shaklee Nutrition. Shaklee Nutrition made that possible. And also on the right bottom, you see the 1987 Daedalus Project, the first human-powered flight across the Aegean Sea. The guy had to pedal for 72 miles, and Shaklee products provided the hydration for that feat, which was equivalent to 3 back-to-back marathons in energy, and Shaklee hydration made that possible. So we have all kinds of these feats using Shaklee Nutrition, including NASA. Shaklee products have been on every NASA mission since 1993. What could be more challenging to your health than being in space? There's a customized beverage called Astro Aid that none of us can order, but Shaklee makes it customized for the astronauts so that when they come back into the Earth's atmosphere, they're not fainting because it's such a big change. Also, Shaklee-powered athletes have won 146 gold, silver, and bronze medals. Think about it. These athletes can be tested 24/7. Somebody can knock at their door and say, we're here to take a blood sample from you. And if any illegal things are found in their blood, any illegal substances that are banned, guess what? They're kicked out of competition. And that's where the Shaklee guarantee comes in, because they know that if Shaklee products are in their body, they're going to test clean every time. And yes, there are Olympic athletes that have been kicked out of competition because the supplements that they were taking were tainted. And when their blood tests showed banned substances coming from those supplements, they were kicked out of the Olympics. Yes, it's documented. So we're so thankful for the Shaklee clinical research. To date, Shaklee has over 140 published clinical studies. We're known for our science. We're known for our safety. We're known for our clinical research. And here's a list of them that can be accessed online from Shaklee's website also, where it details all those studies if you're into that. One of those studies, it's called the Landmark Study, and I love this study because it was one of the most unique studies ever done on long-term supplement users. And there were 3 groups of people in this study. One group, the oldest group, was the Shaklee group. Another group had taken no supplements for the past 20 years, and the other group had taken only a multivitamin from various companies for the past 20 years. Guess what? University of California at Berkeley, they did this study and released the results. And the Shaklee category, the Shaklee people were in the lead in every category. So that's a good thing for you to study if the landmark study is new to you. That's why we can make some health claims on some of our products, is because these have been proven to do certain things during the landmark study, like lower cholesterol levels and so forth. Also, one thing I wanted to point out was I mentioned already that the Shaklee group was the oldest group. This was pointed to us at convention last year. Also, the Shaklee group had the lowest medication use of any of the other groups. How would you like to be in the 89th percentile of not having any medications, you know, and so forth, or even 83rd percentile, 83% group, lowest medicine use, prescription med use over 60 years of age? Well, the Shaklee group has demonstrated incredible health. And also we have the telomere study. It goes on and on. Telomeres are those little end caps at the end of every chromosome strand in your body. If you look at the left, you can see them, and they get shorter and shorter over time, and we can lose our health because of that. Well, the telomere study right here, this is a quote from Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn, PhD. She states that these two studies, the landmark study and the telomere study, have shown that the Shaklee population is remarkably healthier than the general population. That's a direct quote from her book right there. She was the winner of the Nobel Prize in Medicine for discovering the role of the telomeres in the body and so forth, and how they work and how they can be very protective of our health if we take care of the DNA in our body. She's also a member of the Shaklee Scientific Advisory Board right now, which means Shaklee collaborates with her on research and they get her opinion and so forth. So it's just an amazing thing when you talk about Shaklee science. We also have Dr. Kojima's work with interferon. In 1954, he discovered interferon and its role in our immune system. And he dedicated 40 years to finding a way for our body to naturally increase its production of interferon, because it's such a critical part of our immune system. He isolated 4 plant enzymes or extracts that make that happen, and that's the product nutriferon that we have, guys. Are you starting to see that Shaklee is above and beyond when it comes to science? And all this science down through the years, all the way back to 1915, starting with Dr. Shaklee, all of this science comes together, fed into the computers so that Meology becomes possible. We call it nutrition made personal, and that's exactly what it is. When you fill out a questionnaire or an assessment online, it's about a 5-minute assessment, and you get a personalized report with your name on it. So we're going to look into this person named Jeff here in just a minute and kind of see what questions he was asked. Meology takes into account your nutrition needs, your nutrition gaps. It's kind of like a fingerprint of your life and for your health. Takes into account your goals, your lifestyle, your family history, even your doctor's recommendations, your own goals, and even your budget. And when all that's fed into the computers, there are 110 million, yes, 110 million possible combinations that the computer can give you as the optimal personalized program for you. Are you starting to understand the science behind Meology? Look at all these different characteristics. Just like Tonya mentioned, everybody is unique. So Meology is about me. It's about that personal approach for that individual person. Of course, we cannot and we will not say that Shaklee products prevent, treat, or cure any disease. However, we do have strong evidence that they contain key ingredients that may help provide the foundation and nutritional support that you need to help your immune system to function at its best. And you've seen that science summarized for you tonight. So just let's jump right into this. How does it work? There are 3 simple steps. You start, number 1, by taking a simple 5-minute assessment. Step number 2 is within just a few seconds, you're going to receive your personalized plan, and it's going to share with you two options for what might interest you. And you just choose from those options. You get an essentials plan choice here, and you get an essentials plus plan. So that is the basic foundation 1, 2, 3. However, It's so unique in these ways, and we want to point that out to you. Let's look at Jeff, our example tonight. Jeff is a workaholic. Yes, he eats a lot of fast food. He's under a lot of stress and working long hours. And so when he fills out this assessment and he comes to this question, how many servings of colorful vegetables do you eat on an average day? Look what he checks. Less than one. I mean, he doesn't have time to eat and prepare all that food, right? He's stressed out. Now, by colorful vegetables, we mean things like kale, carrots, red peppers, and beets. And a serving is about 1 cup raw or a half cup cooked. So you might be thinking, how many do I get during the day? Meology can be a wake-up call for sure. So because Jeff chose that, though, he got several things recommended on his essentials. And notice this little booklet that comes with it. If he orders it, then this booklet comes. And when you open the booklet, it's going to explain to Jeff, this is why we suggested these supplements for you. And so here's why. Look at this. The reason that Meology suggested the Vital E Multi for men on that is because it's to boost his energy level and to supplement his veggie intake. He gets less than 1 veggie a day, guys. That's why Meology recommended that for him. Also, why did it recommend Carotamax? Well, he's looking at the screen all day long. So it's for his eye health. He has a lot of screen time, and it's also to supplement his veggie intake. It also suggested Nutriferon for him because his immune system is really being challenged because of all the stress he's in. So Carotamax may be a new product to you, but we're finding that it's recommended on a lot of the assessments that we have done because people just are not eating vegetables and fruits. They're just not getting enough. And so it's trying to cover the bases for that. And your eye health really is very much dependent on carotenoids. So if you're not familiar with Shakti's product called Carotamax that is being recommended in a lot of these assessments, then this page right here is a quick summary. There are key carotenoids in 1 serving of Carotamax equivalent to what you see right here on this screen. Like you get the beta carotene, you would have to eat 102 servings of bananas to get the beta carotene that's found in a serving. You also would have to eat 714 servings of apricots to get the lycopene that's in 1 serving. So are you getting the picture? This is like concentrated nutrition for the people that cannot get it in their diet. Now, I dare say there's probably nobody on here that's had 286 servings of pink grapefruit today. So when you think about Carotamax filling in the gaps, I hope that gives you a powerful picture of how it's doing that. Now, when Jeff opens his booklet, guess what? Whatever was suggested for him in this pack, there is a personalized nutrition panel created just for Jeff. That is amazing to me. This panel shows him exactly in the supplements that you are taking, Jeff, this is your nutrition panel that shows you exactly what you are getting in that packet. So now let's take a look at some more of those sample questions. One of them is, how often do you eat omega-3 rich fish in the week? Because we know that's really important. We're talking about your cold water fish like mackerel, salmon, sardines, and herrings. Also, do you or your doctor have any concerns about your health that we should know about? Check. So we want the doctor's input. That's important. And are you concerned about a family history of any of these health conditions? Maybe your father had heart disease. Is that concerning you? You get to check all these things. And then, Jeff, has your doctor recommended that you increase your intake of any of the following? And Jeff would look at that and check it off, okay? Do you take any of these, either of these medications? Maybe something to lower cholesterol or something to thin the blood, like Coumadin. All of this is taken into account in Meology. It's just incredible. And of course, with all that science and technology, we have to make sure that it's safe. The science would be nothing without the product being safe, proven, and guaranteed. And that's where Shakti is head and shoulders above the other companies out there. You can see that Shakti performs 100,000 tests a year just on the purity and the potency of the product. And yes, we have had time since I've been in Shakti when, like our product that has ginseng in it, there was a time when we could not get it for over a year. because the ginseng raw botanical was contaminated and they rejected the whole shipment. It's not just like, let's hunt and pick what we're going to use. No, they're very specific and they guarantee purity and potency for us. And I'm telling you, I'm so thankful that a friend introduced me to the Shaklee science, the Shaklee safety, and the fact that it works. And I was introduced to it over 30 years ago. So that is Meology from Shaklee. It is very exclusive. You won't find this detailed information with all this science from any other company. It's nutrition made personal. And so now we hope that you have learned a little bit about Meology, and we're going to close the recording and open it up for Q&A, and you're welcome to type in anything into the chat about Meology or anything else that you want to ask us about health. Thank you for joining us. Everybody have a great week.